I said during my last video, imagine what this place will be like if Manchester City drop points against Brighton, and this is an 8 p.m. kickoff on a Saturday night at Anfield. I imagined that it would be absolutely rocking, but to be honest, didn't really think that would happen, and yet here we are. Manchester City did drop points against Brighton, a late turnaround to lose 2-1, and then Liverpool rocked up here against Aston Villa, and the atmosphere absolutely delivered, and so did Liverpool. A 2-0 victory that moves them 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League, and an absolutely fantastic night. As I say, it was bouncing here, and I think it makes it even better that it wasn't an easy game for Liverpool, a real test for them against a good Villa side. Now, I'd say a fairly even game, and I think the statistics kind of bear that out really. I mean, the expected goals 2.02 to 1.5 in Liverpool's favour, 14 to 12 on the shot count, of 5 big chances for Liverpool and 4 for Aston Villa. So that really suggests, and it was the feeling in the ground, and as I watched it, that it was kind of really difficult and an even game, as I say, and I kind of expected that, to be honest, because I thought Aston Villa would make that difficult, would make life difficult for Liverpool today, because they came into this off the back of 3 defeats and a draw in the last 4 games, and look, they are a side who's in the Champions League this season. They are capable of making it difficult. They've got an awful lot of good players, not just in the starting 11, but coming off the bench as well. And they've got a very good manager in Unai Emery as well. And for Liverpool, as I say, it was difficult throughout the first half and very even. And there was no big second half here for as we've become kind of accustomed to the fact that Liverpool kind of work teams out and then in the second half come out and blow them away. But that didn't kind of happen here. But I almost find that even more encouraging in that, there wasn't a real obvious tactical flaw that Liverpool could exploit, and Villa are very, very good ultimately. But the fact that they still get it over the line, they still get that extra goal in the second half to finally see it off and claim all 3 points. And as I say, finding different ways to win football matches is what it's all about over a long Premier League season. You can't always rely on, in the second halves we'll come out and absolutely blow the opposition away. It's not going to work like that sometimes for you, because you come up against good teams who, maybe they change things in the second half and they play a little bit better, and that kind of evens each other out. But for Liverpool, at that point, if that's what's happening, and that's what seemed to happen here, it's just about finding a way to get over the line, and they absolutely did that. And I said, it's another feather in Arne Slot's cap that he doesn't need that big second half performance. They can just battle and grind the way to 3 points, and that is 100% what we saw here. And I liked it as well, because this was a different test, as I say, because Villa were a bit unlike, say, Brighton, for example, who can play through you, and they're a bit like that. Villa, it's all about physicality and making you win your individual duels all across the pitch. But Liverpool seemingly really kind of enjoyed that. And I mean, I say the XG numbers are kind of even. Villa create 1.5, but 0.95 of that is actually from set pieces. So Liverpool had to be so switched on around those. I mean, you see Aston Villa's set piece coach coming up on the sidelines. He obviously has a big influence there, and they do score a lot of set piece goals. But Liverpool just kept battling, kept getting ahead on the ball, just kept doing everything they can to stop that. Of course, calling on the goalkeeper when they needed to as well. And otherwise, really, what was impressive about it is that they limited the open play XG that Villa created. So a lot of their threat was coming from set pieces and that physicality, even though they had good moments in the game. And again, like I say, I just think that's really encouraging that Liverpool were able to do that, and they were able to sort of shut Villa off and say, okay, we will join this physical battle, we'll be part of it, we can go toe to toe with you in that regard. We don't just have to out football you, we can out battle you as well. And that, I absolutely love that about the performance today, and ultimately it's the reason I think that they deserve to be 3 points, to get the 3 points today, and also to move 5 points clear with Manchester City in the Premier League going into that final international break. Just feels like a dream at the moment, doesn't it? And next up after that international break, which is Southampton away for Liverpool, which obviously every Premier League game is difficult. We'd like to think that Liverpool would win that, and then the game that follows that is Manchester City here at Anfield. And again, can you imagine what the atmosphere is like there if there's going to be an opportunity for Liverpool to go 8 points clear in the title race? I think this place will be raucous, and it would just emphasise how good of a start to the season this has been, and how good of a start to life under Arne Slot. It's been absolutely remarkable, and I will keep banging on about that. This is not what anyone would have expected, and yet we keep seeing these big wins, and Liverpool just absolutely flying at the moment, and another deserved win today. Now, go through some individual performances. I touched on the goalkeeper there. Now, he had a really quiet game, to be honest. Only 2 saves he had to make, but they are key ones. As I say, big opportunities from set pieces. I think around 0.61 XG, and you know, he's just great reflexes. One, he tips over the bar, one he just pushes out in front of him and it gets cleared away. But he, you know, these are the big moments. This could have been a really different day if Liverpool concede 2 goals from set pieces. It could have been drop points, it could have been disappointment, it could have been that feeling that they didn't capitalise on those drop points from Manchester City. And you know, to come away with that, they've absolutely needed the goalkeeper, and Caoimhin Kelleher just consistently stands up in those moments, doesn't he? And I mean, it's testament really to how good he's been, the fact that nobody even talks about Alisson being out. He is arguably the best goalkeeper in the world, and I haven't really heard a peep about the fact he's been out, and that is because the guy who's come in for him has been arguably just as good in his performances in this period. Now we'll have to see, of course, whether he stays in the team now, you know, whether Alisson is straight back after the international break. We're not entirely sure where he's up to. He should be back pretty close after that. And of course he will come in instead of Kelleher, but we don't know exactly when that'll be. But you've got no nerves about when that is. You're not worried that we need to rush Alisson back, because Kelleher's just been absolutely phenomenal. And I tell you what, if there's any teams who've been watching him during this run who had doubts over paying 25 million for him over the summer, which was the price that Liverpool demanded, then surely those doubts have evaporated. He's got to be up there as one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League, and he hardly ever plays, so that just shows you how good he is. And yeah, can't praise him enough really. What a servant he's been for Liverpool, even if he does move on at the end of the season, as is probably expected. Now just in front of him, another man I want to praise was Ibrahima Konate. Just thought he was phenomenal again. He has been world class this season, and today was no different. I mean, wins 5 out of 5 duels, makes 4 clearances, completes 93% of his passes, which by the way, he's supposed to have a weakness with the ball at his feet, but I didn't see that today. And he absolutely bullied Ollie Watkins, who is one of the most dangerous strikers in the Premier League. He was forced off around the hour mark, I think, because he just had no impact on the game. Didn't think John Duran did anything either when he came on, and he kept dragging over to Konate thinking they get more luck there instead of Virgil, and he just completely shuts them down. I mean, he's quicker than most strikers, he's stronger than most strikers, and he's extremely calm with the ball at his feet as well. He's just a world-class centre-half, and if he carries on this way, he can seriously get near to matching Virgil van Dijk. That is how good I think he is. He's arguably the second best centre half in the Premier League at the moment, which you know, with his mate alongside him being the first, and they've got to be surely the best duo there with the least goals conceded. He was phenomenal today again, and a massive part of Liverpool coming through this battle and winning the game. And I have to give mention as well to, of course, Mohamed Salah. I said in my last video, I don't really mention him enough in these videos, but again, he's made the point that I absolutely have to in this game, because he gets a goal to cap the game off with a very, very cool finish. Love that when he runs away and he sees that the pass isn't the better option. He can just dink it over Martinez. Great finish. Gets the assist as well for Nunez when he's running through. Arguably, if that goal doesn't go in and Nunez doesn't finish it, I think Leon Bailey's getting sent off there, because the referee might not give it, but surely VAR recommends to have a look at that one. And he just kind of terrorised Digne all night. I didn't think Digne had a bad game, because I thought his corner deliveries were good, but that says a lot, because I thought Salah, as I say, was terrorising him, was getting him backing off into his box constantly, and just a brilliant performance again from him. Really hope he keeps it up and he can stay fit. There's been rumours in Egypt that he might actually not get called up into the Egyptian squad for this international break, which would be a huge boost for Liverpool, wouldn't it? You just want to keep him fit, keep him sharp. If you can have a nice rest over the break, that'd be fantastic for Liverpool. And I usually do around 3 players in those individual performances, but I can't not mention Andy Robertson. Spoke in recent videos about, you know, maybe Kostas Tsimikas has come ahead of him in the team, and in his form he would arguably deserve that, and Robertson has struggled in some games. I thought he was absolutely brilliant tonight, back to his best. That rest, a couple of games sitting on the sidelines, looked to have done him the world of good. He is 30 now. He's done, you know, he's putting a lot of work down that flank for Liverpool, and he's a very energetic in his style of play. Maybe he just needs those extra couple of rests from time to time to get him at his best and his sharpest, and I thought he absolutely was that today. As I said, I didn't think Leon Bailey influenced things whatsoever in an attacking perspective down his side. You know, in 2 chances created, wasn't dribbled past once, and won 2 out of his 3 duels, and he just looks solid as anything down that side. And you know, again, he's been criticised a lot recently, and some suggestions, you know, maybe he's completely finished, but I think he showed today with his performance that is not the case. Maybe you need to pick and choose his games sometimes, and you can't, you know, absolutely hammer him with 3 games in a week like you used to be able to when he was 26, but he's still got value, and I thought he was absolutely brilliant on both sides of the ball today. So really, really good to see that, and just summed up Liverpool's performance in general, because ultimately I don't think anybody played poorly at all. Thought Conor Bradley great when he came in for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Gravenberch an absolute phenom again. His form's just a joke, and he should get a mention probably in every video, but I don't get chance. and I think it's just fair to say that things are going pretty well for Liverpool at the moment, better than you could have ever expected. And what a way to go into the international break now. As I say, a big win here over a tricky game against Aston Villa, 5 points clear at the summit of the Premier League. And worth mentioning as well that Arsenal, another title contender, have got to go to Chelsea tomorrow, so really looking forward to seeing how they get on there, because that's a huge test for them against a very decent Chelsea side. So more drop points there, and I think it'll be popping champagne corks for Liverpool, although we mustn't get too carried away. Let's enjoy the international break, because it's been an incredible run of form from Liverpool, and they absolutely deserve to be where they are. So I'm going to wrap it up there. One thing I do want to quickly say before I leave it is I want to say hi to Tanya, who I met outside the ground today, who watches these videos. Always nice to meet fans and people who watch these videos as well. Really do appreciate everyone. And on that, Mark, can you just, if you can hit that like and subscribe button, always massively appreciated. Really do, it is really helpful in terms of growing the channel, so really do appreciate every time you do that, and enjoying unbelievable growth on the channel. Does probably help that Liverpool are absolutely flying at the moment, so long may that continue, but we'll see how that goes. And as I said, we're going to take a little break for the international break now, but there's loads to get into. I'm going to have loads of analysis of how things are going so far, whether Liverpool, how they match up against other title contenders, how things have changed since Jurgen Klopp was here. So I've loads to get into over that international break, so do keep an eye on the channel, and I'll see you guys very, very soon.